Capturing the Omega Ruins can be done directly after obtaining the airship, but it's recommended after you've captured all monsters up to and including Mount Gakazet. This allows you access to a lot of useful items for the more difficult battles in the dungeon. I'll be capturing all possible fiends in the Omega Ruins, including those found inside Sin, but won't be showing battles for the Defender Z or the Mimics. First off, you'll need to max out on Phoenix Downs, Chocobo Feathers and Wings, all Curtains, all Elemental Gems, Poison Fangs, Sleeping Powders and Shadow Gems, as well as have enough items for at least 10 trio of Quad 9s and 10 Sunburst mixes, all of which can be obtained from capture prizes or farming in the Monster Arena up until this point. Along with these items, you'll need a range of equipment just to survive in the easier of battles. First Strike is essential for our starting trio of Auron, Rikku and Tidus, as is someone with initiative and evade and counter on all of the lads. This prevents an ambush and guarantees you can set up in the first turn. Alongside that, SOS or Auto-Haste and all elemental protection for Rikku and Wakka is essential, as is Stoneproof for Yuna, Auron and Rikku, and the lads should all have their capture weapons. Auron and Wakka with their Stone and Deathstrike weapons, as well as Tidus and Kimahri with Piercing for dealing that extra damage. And finally, if you want to challenge the Great Malboro in here, you must have Protection for Berserk and Confusion on the same armour for all of the lads, so equip this on Auron, Kimahri and Tidus from the start to avoid a game over thanks to its dreaded ambush. It's one thing capturing 5 of each monster in here, it's another staying alive. Good luck. Up first is the Zaurus, which is the most common of enemy in here and the easiest to capture. It has one attack which can be evaded, can be put to sleep and can be petrified. Rikku can also steal petrified grenades if needed, and once you're done, Wakka can take it out with one blow. With our setup, this encounter will be quick, easy and very lucrative. Start by using a sleeping powder with Rikku, swap into Wakka and swap Auron into his capture weapon. The lads can take out both Zaurus, while Rikku can continue to steal musks and petrify grenades. Since all enemies here are susceptible to sleep, this is another safe battle to get both Rikku and Wakka into SOS, either using Lulu or petrifying myself here. It's also essential to re-sleep the Floating Death, as one attack equals a game over. Once you've stolen enough and set up for future battles, Auron and Wakka can finish capturing for another easy win. Just like the previous battle, this is quick and easy thanks to our setup. Start by using the sleeping powder and swapping into Wakka. You can take out one of the Coeurls thanks to Stonestrike. Auron can swap into his capture weapon, but it's not essential. Once Rikku has finished stealing, the lads can take out the second Coeurl and the Floating Death for another easy victory. The dreaded Spirit is the toughest enemy to capture in Nosphere Grid, but there is one strategy you can use every single time. Since the Spirit may counter any damaging action with Poison Mist, we're going to avoid that attack altogether. Rikku and Haste will have 2 turns to start preparing. Swap Tidus out for Wakka and Auron swapped into his capture weapon. If Rikku has an overdrive, now is where you mix the trio of Quad 9. There are plenty of online guides that will help with mixing. If you don't have a Rikku overdrive, just flee. At this stage, since the elements have less than 10k health, Wakka in Haste doing Quad 9 can now take on both of them with ease before they even get a turn. For the second part of our strat, swap Auron out for Yuna and summon any of the first 5 Aeons. Once out, attack with the Aeon and the Spirit will counter. As long as you've done at least 1 HP though, in damage, dismiss the Aeon if it survives. The Spirit will now get a turn but can only damage a single character. On the following turn, swap Auron back in, who can finish the Spirit off with one final blow. Start by swapping Rikku out for Wakka, take out one of the Halmas thanks to Stonestrike and replace Tidus with Rikku, now mix a trio of Quad 9. Although I don't show it here, have Auron take out the other Halma, then swap out Wakka for Yuna, summon and again attack the Spirit, then immediately dismiss. Since the enemies in this fight only have a single character attack, you can tank them both, then swap back into Wakka, and thanks to SOS Haste, you can capture the remaining Spirit and Halma for the victory. The battle against the Puroboros is an auto win if Rikku has an overdrive. Start by mixing a Sunburst, then swap in 1 or 2 of the lads with their capture weapons equipped. Since each of the Puroboros has 20,000 health, after a Sunburst, each has now only 2 HP, so the lads make light work of all 3 for an easy victory. Since the Machea's only attack is physical, you cannot lose this fight providing Rikku and Auron remain in the front line. Swap out Tidus for Wakka, who can, thanks to Stonestrike, capture the first Machea. If you want to steal stamina tonics, now is your chance, just make sure you equip Master Theif on Rikku. If Wakka is taken out, one of the characters can revive him, and since his SOS Haste Arm Guard has a plus 10% HP, and he has odd HP, he's immediately revived in haste status. Once you finish stealing, Wakka can easily capture the second Machea for another easy victory. Although resistant to all 4 elements, the Master Tonberry can be put to sleep and isn't immune to Shadow Gem gravity damage. Magic and Lancet can both do chip damage while Rikku uses Shadow Gems until the Tonberry is down to just over 2000 HP. Now this is where you need to bring Wakka and Auron back in and manipulate the Tonberry's health to between 1 and 300. Similar to the Zoo in Beaconell, this is achieved by using potions and various items with Rikku, and once down to very low health, the 3 lads can capture it with their attacks for the win. One of the most dangerous encounters for capturing in no sphere grid is the Varuna, since it's immune to death, heavily resistant to petrify, and is pretty much always in haste. Start by switching into Rikku's elemental armour, picked up in part 24 of the guide, then swap out Tidus for Wakka and do the same with him. Wakka's going to be key in taking out Varuna, but it's all RNG when Stonestrike will hit. Use the Chocobo feathers or wings on the party to ensure they keep up with the Varuna, who's always in haste. And where possible, attack with Wakka and try to defeat the Varuna with Stonestrike, but since it has 80% resistance, you'll have a low chance of capturing. Rikku and Wakka should tank the majority of the elemental attacks and revive Auron if he's KO'd. Eventually though, Wakka will pull out all the stops and capture the Varuna. The first of 3 optional monsters you can catch in the Omega Ruins is the Adamantoise. This enemy is arguably the best steals in the entire game, but alongside the other optional monsters, these are registered as Inside Sin captures, so you won't be able to farm their spoils in the arena until you've defeated Overdrive Sin. Start with the Sleeping Powder from Rikku and then swap Tidus into Wakka, ensuring you have his Stonestrike weapon equipped and he's in SOS Haste. With 80% resistance to petrification, the Adamantoise is not immune, so just like the Varuna, Wakka will be the one to capture this with ease. However, although the Stonestrike weapon is 100% effective, the resistance means you won't always finish the battle with your first hit. Continue to try your luck with Wakka while stealing healing waters or stamina tablets with Rikku and putting the Adamantoise back to sleep before its turn. Eventually you'll run out of steals, so just keep attacking with Wakka, who will get 2 attacks per turn when in haste. Ensure Rikku gets the final turn to throw Sleeping Powder, and eventually Wakka will get off a Stonestrike for the capture. Our second optional battle in the Omega Ruins is against the double Demonolith, which can be a very tough and interesting battle. Swap out Tidus for Yuna this time, ensure all 3 characters are protecting against petrification, and with Rikku in haste, you're guaranteed to set up in the right way. Next, either equip Yuna with evading counter, or use a smoke bomb to ensure the party isn't hit. Now that you're all set up, you can take on both of the Demonoliths, and after every 3rd attack, you'll also avoid the effects of breath thanks to our stone protection. Rikku can use a Chocobo feather to gain us more turns and Shadow Gems to reduce the Demonolith's health, whilst the other pair can defend. The aim once again is to whittle down their HP to around 100. At around 800 HP, you can also use a frag grenade. This inflicts armor break for extra physical damage and heal with potions if darkness subsides to use another smoke bomb. Eventually though, both Demonoliths will fall to Auron with his capture weapon. And finally, our 3rd optional encounter. If you want a real challenge whilst in here, you can try your luck versus the Great Malboro and its dreaded ambush. Start by swapping Rikku and Tidus out for Kamari and Wakka and ensure all 3 of the lads are equipped with their Berserk and Confusion protection. Wards should be enough, but you can always customise proof armours, which is recommended. Great Mal will always start with Bad Breath, which inflicts a myriad of statuses, and this is where the battle is won or lost. If all 3 characters are in Berserk or Confusion, the game is over. If you survive, the challenge is on. Immediately swap Auron for Rikku and throw a Chocobo wing and use the lads to start healing their negative statuses. Great Mal has 2 damage phases, before 32,000 and afterwards. Between now and 32,000 HP, it has a single character attack, which can be evaded, so swap into those weapons. It can also use Bad Breath again, unless one character has poison, so make sure you don't heal Auron's poison status and he's in the lineup for the Malboro's turn. You can also keep Rikku in the front line initially, as Auto-Haste allows her to set up quicker whilst avoiding Malboro's single attack with evading counter. First up though, we need to prepare for that post 32,000 phase with Haste, Shell, Protect, double HP and Defend on all of the lads. Rikku in Haste gives you multiple turns to do this, and I'd recommend using Mighty Guard with Kamari on all 3 of the lads if he has an overdrive, as this speeds up preparations. Once you are fully set up, you can start whittling down Great Mal's health with fire and shadow gems, but make sure to stop damaging it before it reaches 32,000 HP. When you go beyond this threshold, make sure all 3 of the lads are at max HP and in defend. This is where Malboro can be dangerous. Auron must remain in poison to avoid bad breath and face one of 3 attacks, with an equal percentage of happening. One of the attacks hits the party, one is a single attack that KOs without defend, and the third is the attack from the first phase. The first 2 of these are deadly, and is why we've set up. Rikku should continue to get 2 turns, so use one to deal damage with fire and shadow gems, and the other to swap out, whilst the lads can use healing items and defend before Malboro's turn. At this point in the battle, it's essential that all 3 of the lads are in the party to tank Malboro's attack. There may be instances where you swap Rikku in, but she doesn't get a second turn, even in haste, so I would recommend not risking it and just spend that round healing and defending with the lads. I'd also recommend getting Malboro down to around 100 HP before swapping into your capture weapons, as you don't want to be getting a game over this late into the battle. Continue having Rikku swap in, use items and swap out, and heal and defend with the lads. Eventually, you'll chip the health down to low enough to swap the lads into their capture weapons and finish off this epic battle with the Great Malboro. Whilst in the Omega Ruins, do not forget to pick up some very important loot. First up is the 26th and final Albed Primer, and once you're back on the airship, talk to Rin and he'll reward you with 99 Underdog Secrets, which will be very useful in the boss battles to come. The next is a free teleport stone, obtained by touching the glyph at the back of the dungeon, near where you picked up the Albed Primer. If you make your way back to the inactive glyph, this will now be activated and create a new section for you to access. Make your way to the top and open the chest to claim your prize. And finally, while you can do the chest minigame, they're offering nothing useful that we can't get elsewhere during a Nosphere Grid playthrough, so by all means get them, but they aren't essential. If Rikku's Celestial Weapon is fully powered with the Gillionaire ability, designer wallets are useful for Gill or mixes instead. If you enjoy the content, consider dropping a like and subscribe so you never miss an upload. Catch you on the next one. Cheers.